Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello everybody, welcome to Cartoon Boom! This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, popped on the floor with big gold sugary cereal, and watch our favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And this morning, we watched Dragon Ball Z!
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
How was that? Was that a good announcer, like narrator for Dragon Ball?
That was like if he were on the toilet, really struggling. Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Z. Ouch. Oh, it stretched it.
Gross. So who suggested this to us?
We don't know. We lost.
No, that's right.
We lost the information. Right. I feel bad about it. I don't know how we lose this info. I put all of this stuff in a Google Doc, and then like for whatever reason, like there just won't be any info next to it, and I don't know how that happens, but it happened.
I'm just going to assume everyone recommended it to us because
everybody did. The internet did.
I just feel like people have been wanting us to do this show since we started the cartoon or since we started this podcast.
I'm wondering if it's like something like the Kenneth Chisholm, like I wonder if it's the algorithm hacking our documents or something. Or is it Papa Smurf?
Oh, Papa Smurf was waiting for Dragon Ball Z.
He's been waiting for us to notice he's been messing with us.
Yeah, he doesn't care about the Smurfs. It's Dragon Ball Z he really wanted to hear our opinions on. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So he doesn't have to wait anymore. Papa Smurf, you've been satisfied,
Papa Smurf's
right?
Done waiting.
We have satisfied Papa Smurf.
Dragon Ball Z aired from 1989 to 1996, originally in Japan. It's a sequel to the Dragon Ball anime and adapts the latter 325 chapters of the original 519-chapter Dragon Ball manga series created by Akira Toriyama, which ran in Weekly Shonen Jump from 1984 to 1995. The screenplay was written by Takao Koyama. In 1996, Funimation Productions licensed Dragon Ball Z for an English-language release in North America. So we didn't get it until it was already done in Japan. It started in Japan in 1989. And ran till 95 or 96, and then like didn't come to us until 96. So it's like Japan was already done with that first series.
Oh
and
yeah,
we're just like, oh my god, what is this? Dragon Ball Z?
We started going like, oh my god, have you heard of Goku? And Japan's just like, oh my god, these idiots.
Yeah, uncultured swine. I know we are.
Seriously,
it's true, but. Production was halted in 1998 after 2 seasons in America, despite strong ratings, due to Saban scaling down its syndication operations in order to focus on producing original material for the Fox Kids network and its newly acquired Fox Family channel. Even though Funimation gathered the rights to it, they were really producing it through Saban, who was infamous for the edits that they made to Dragon Ball Z under their really strict kind of rules that they had. So there couldn't be any deaths. There couldn't, you had to they had to be transported to another dimension or something when they died. You remember this from Sailor Moon or when we did Battle of the Planets, stuff like that. Where
Saban also did Power Rangers. They did the same thing to them too, like the Super Sentai or whatever, and turned it into Power Rangers. I think that was still Saban.
It was, yep, same one. And then Cartoon Network eventually ordered more episodes of Dragon Ball Z, and Funimation resumed production of the series English dub without Saban's assistance. So This renewed dub featured less censorship due to both the Saban's absence and fewer restrictions on cable programming, and aired new episodes on Cartoon Network's Toonami block from September 13, 1999 to April 7, 2003, continuing in reruns through 2008. So I think when I had originally seen it, it was probably the poorly edited dubs on behalf of Saban.
Yeah.
When I had first seen it.
Didn't that have something to do with the voiceovers also? Like, wasn't Funimation subcontracting Ocean or something at the time to do the voices? Then when that happened, Funimation had to get a whole new crew to do it.
Well, okay. So the Ocean dubs, I mean, a lot of times they're blamed for these these edits to the dubs, but honestly, that was on Saban's behalf. So Ocean didn't have anything to do with it, but they were the ones who were dubbing it at the time. And yeah, once Cartoon Network took it over and ordered more episodes of it, Funimation started using their in-house voiceover artists who are actually located in Texas. And so those are the ones you kind of like know today who are synonymous with those Dragon Ball Z voices, the English voice cast anyway, that you're familiar with.
Sure. Okay. Got it.
So this was produced by Toei Animation. It was then licensed by Madman Entertainment in Australia, Funimation in North America, and then Funimation UK in the UK. Ran for 9 seasons, 291 episodes, originally on Fuji TV in Japan, Network 10 and Cartoon Network in Australia, YTV in Canada, Cartoon Network in India, and then first run syndication, International Channel, and Cartoon Network Toonami in the US. For short synopsis, after learning that he is from another planet, a warrior named Goku and his friends are prompted to defend it from an onslaught of extraterrestrial enemies.
Yeah, if you want to boil it down, that's the best way to do it.
Kinda, yeah,
it's just
sure.
Wave after wave of baddies from other planets, basically.
Who are some of the actors who played in this show?
I knew this question was coming, man. I knew it, and
you should.
And I'm prepared. Like I've got it. Like I'm physically prepared. I'm not mentally prepared for this.
There's a lot, man.
There's a lot, and so many people voiced these characters that I'm not gonna make distinguishes between which dubs were which. I'm just gonna name the character, and I'm gonna name the voice actors that voice them, and you can figure out yourself who did it when.
So are you going to do Japan and American?
Japan and the American versions? Yes, these are the Japanese and the American actors. Ooh. And you're going to hear there's a few names that you're going to hear a lot.
I'm going to need you to go into everything this voice cast has done for the past 5 years, at least. Okay.
Not going to happen.
No?
Not going to happen.
Okay. All right.
Especially with this many characters. So the character of Goku was in Japan, voiced by Masako Nozawa. And in the English dub translations, voiced by Sean Schemmel, Kirby Morrow, R.I.P. Kirby, Ian James Corlett, and Peter Kalamis. Kirby Morrow was the one that passed away not that long ago. Like, I think this past year, who voiced Cyclops from X-Men Evolution. Remember? Yeah, poor guy. Vegeta in Japanese, voiced by Ryo Horikawa and Christopher Sabat and Brian Drummond in English. Krillin, voiced by Mayumi Tanaka, and in the English, Sonny Strait and Terry Klassen. Piccolo in the Japanese, Toshio Furukawa, and in English, Christopher Sabat and Scott McNeil. We're still going, man. I'm not even halfway through, and my mouth is real tired. Gohan in the Japanese, voiced by Masako Nozawa, and in the English, Stephanie Nadolny, Saffron Henderson, Jillian Michaels, Kyle Hebert, and Brad Swale. So you can tell, like, the women voiced young Gohan and the men voiced older Gohan, since he ages quite a bit in this show. Bulma in the Japanese. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. So real quick, you're doing like the ocean dubs too. You're just giving us a full rundown.
I'm giving you everything I got.
Wow.
I'm letting you have it. I'm full blast is what I've turned it up to.
All right.
Bulma. In the Japanese, Bulma is voiced by Hiromi Tsuru, and in English, Tiffany Vollmer, Maggie Blue O'Hara, Lelania Lindberg, and France Paris. Yep, France Paris.
That's awesome, actually. I love that name.
Yeah. You think it'd be Paris, France, but nope. They went backwards. Chi-Chi, voiced by Naoko Watanabe, and in the English, Cynthia Kranz, Lisa Ann Bealey, and Laura Sadiq. Trunks, in the Japanese, was voiced by Takeshi Kusao. In the English, Laura Bailey, Kathy Westluck, Eric Vale, and Alistair Abel. Again, the females voicing the young version, the males voicing the older version. Goten in the Japanese was voiced, once again, Masako Nozawa, who voices pretty much like Goku and any of the men in his family, all voiced by the same voice actress, which is interesting. In English, voiced by Kara Edwards and Jillian Michaels. Master Roshi in the Japanese, voiced by 2 actors, Koi Miyauchi and Hiroshi Masoka. And then in the English, Mike McFarlane, Ian James Corlett, and Peter Kalamis. Yamcha in the Japanese voiced by Toru Furuya. And then in the English, Christopher Sabat and Ted Cole. Tien voiced by Koichi Yamadera and Hirotaka Suzuki. And then in the English, John Bergmeyer, Chris Kaysen, and Matt Smith. I'm almost there. I've only got a few left, man, that I'm going to do. Chaozu in the Japanese, Hiroko Imori. And in English, Kathy Westluck and Monica Antonelli. Kami in the Japanese, voiced by Takeshi Ono. And then in English, Christopher Sabat, Dale Wilson, Ward Perry, and Chris Forbes. And finally, oh God, finally. I'm at the end, man. This is the last one we're doing. Whew, the narrator in the Japanese, Joji Yanami. And in English, Kyle Hebert and Dale Kelly. And there's a lot of other characters, I know, but we're done. We're done. We're moving on.
Wow. No, that was
I can't
impressive.
do it, and I don't want to do any more. I refuse. You guys, none of you pay me enough for this.
I didn't expect that much of you, so that was above and beyond.
That's above and beyond more than I've done anything else in my life. So you should be happy.
This is your
about
biggest accomplishment to date.
It's the most time I've invested in anything I've ever done.
Should really reflect on your life choices up to this point, I think.
I know. Yeah, it's made me really reconsider a lot.
So here's a few tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of Dragon Ball Z cereal. Frieza and Goku's fight in Namek is the longest battle in anime history with the duration of a little over 4 hours.
Jeez.
Well, I don't know if that's in like the actual universe time or if that's in actual episode time, just because of how like drawn out some of these episodes are. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like actual episode time because of the charge ups, Frieza coming back to life at one point, and just all the different things that are happening. Goku going Super Saiyan.
Yeah. I
wouldn't
guessing
be
episode
surprised
time.
if it was like 4 hours of actual episode time.
Yeah, it's got to be episode time. That's my thought.
That's nuts. Piccolo is only 4 years older than Gohan.
What?
Yeah, Namekians just age differently, like much faster.
Oh, weird.
So basically, even though Piccolo's like a father figure to Gohan, he's almost like an older brother figure to Gohan in a way, too.
So Piccolo's essentially like, let's say Gohan is 5 years old. Piccolo's 9.
Yeah, but Namekians are also asexual to where they reproduce by like eggs.
Yeah, they just spit them out.
They cough up like, yeah. It's weird. It's a whole thing. Namekians are a strange species.
Yeah, they're cool though.
Yeah, they're cool. In 2013, Akira Toriyama revealed Android 17 and 18's real names. This was a surprise to me. Like I had no idea. Had you ever heard this before? What 17 and 18's real names were?
I don't think so.
Lapis and Lazuli, respectively.
What? No, I didn't know that. That's so weird.
Yeah.
That just makes me think of Steven Universe now at this point.
I can't not think of Steven Universe.
Wait, which one's which?
Well, Lapis is 17 and 18 is Lazuli.
Okay, got it. Weird, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess this was just in like an interview or something where he's just like, oh yeah, their names are this. But in 2013, I think Steven Universe had come out by that time, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, it came out in 2013. Wow. Okay, so that means Lapis wouldn't have shown up yet anyway. Yeah. So this predates Steven Universe's Lapis.
That's
otherwise,
so
I would have
strange,
said that he got inspiration from. But yeah, I would have never expected that. But I mean, technically, they were humans before they got turned into androids by Dr. Giro / Android 20. So it's like, it makes sense that they would have real names. I just never thought about it like that.
Yeah, I didn't either. You'd think they'd be like food related because like almost everybody in this show's name is some sort of food.
Yeah, that kind of takes me to my next point, which is like in the previous series, Dragon Ball Z has many naming conventions / jokes. Saiyans are all named after vegetables, like Vegeta, both the prince and his king father, and the Saiyan home planet, originally named Planet Plant, means vegetable. Raditz is radish. Kakarot is carrot. The villain Frieza, originally Freezer, comes obvious, and his brother Cooler and their father King Cold. All the Namekians born from the villain in Dragon Ball were named after instruments like piccolo, drum, etc. The Briefs family were all named after underwear. Bulma meaning panties, Dr. Briefs himself, Trunks, and Bra, which is
Sup, bro?
Vegeta and Bulma's other kid.
Yes.
And then, of course, various characters named after foods. Oolong as in the tea, ginger, spice, blueberry, raspberry, raisin, almond, apple, and then Dragon Ball And in Dragon Ball, there was an entire family of about 12 named after desserts. The name Videl is actually an anagram of devil because her dad is Mr. Satan,
Yes.
at least in the Japanese version.
Hey, Joseph,
Yes.
what does Chi-Chi's name mean?
Well, honestly, that the only reason it translates like to be a naughty thing here is because of the Spanish translation for Chi-Chi, which is boob, but that's not how it translates over there.
Okay. How does it translate?
I don't know what it actually translates to, but that's not what it meant. But that's just
okay.
like it's funny because in the, I think it was Latin version of Dragon Ball Z, or at least in Mexico, like they named her Milk because of the connotation.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then the Ginyu Force is named after just dairy products.
Yeah.
Because Ginyu itself is milk. So it's
Yes.
Captain Ginyu is Captain Milk. Then there's Jace, which is cheese, Burter, which is butter. Raccoon, which is cream, and then Guldo, which is, I don't remember what Guldo stands for.
I don't remember. He was the little green one, right?
Yeah, he was a little green one that could stop time by holding his breath.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so to your point, all those cool naming conventions, and you just kind of expect it from Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
And you kind of look past it after a while. Like Trunks, okay, yeah, he's named after underwear, but he's still the coolest character, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't even think about it at all. Like,
No.
It doesn't cross my mind anymore.
Yeah, and it's like Kakarot. Brawly is broccoli, obviously.
Yes.
Even in Dragon Ball Super, they continue with that. Like, there's alternate universe Saiyans. One is named Khalifa, like after cauliflower. And so it's like it just continues on.
Not
infinitely.
after the Wiz. Okay.
Is this something you watched a lot as a kid, as a shonen yourself?
Oh my God, yeah. I watched it so much as a kid. It took me a while to get into it when it first showed up on like Cartoon Network because I don't know what the deal was. I just wasn't interested in it. I think from the animation and stuff, I just was just like, this isn't for me. It took a friend getting really into it and giving me some of the original Dragon Ball manga that got me interested in it. And then reading the manga and then being exposed to like some of the characters and how like kind of funny and goofy it could be along with the fighting and stuff. Cause I thought it was just like fighting and everything. I was just like, oh, this is kind of fun along with like some of the cool like action stuff. So that got me into it. I watched a lot of it and I was like obsessive with that at one point. I told you before with the help of a friend too, I made my own like encyclopedia of every character that like ever appeared in like any of the shows like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and GT, even though I never actually watched GT, but I still like looked up information on them online and would like print it out and put it in my little encyclopedia.
Yeah, it was kind of a similar experience for me where in middle school or something, like I had watched it some, but I didn't really like comprehend or understand it because I was just catching an episode here and there, and I didn't really like grasp the story. So I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, but I didn't have any real connection to it until high school. And that's when like your anime nerd really just comes out full force, or at least mine did, because like that's when I met my best friend at the time who he introduced me to so much about anime in general, but especially Dragon Ball Z and all the like interesting things about it that I had never known. And more than anything, he introduced me to the Japanese version of it, like the subtitled versions, where it's like, oh my God, this is so much different and more like raw than the English dubs that I had been exposed to previously. So I was like, oh, this is super cool, and just feels a lot more like almost forbidden because it's like, oh man, they're cussing and stuff, and I wasn't used to that kind of Dragon Ball Z. And there's
like,
blood.
whoa, it's your favorite cuss.
Yeah, it's my favorite cuss in there. Yeah, there's blood, there's like decapitations and stuff, and it's like, oh my God, this is such a cool anime. And well, especially for cartoons, because at the time that was probably one of the most violent cartoons I had actually seen to that point when you really break it down. And so that was also kind of where we started doing more like some art together, where we would kind of pass like graph paper back and forth during our algebra class. And we would just be drawing like little battles. Like he would draw something, then pass it to me. I would draw something. We'd just be doing like Dragon Ball Z battles or like energy battles and stuff where they're like shooting Kamehamehas at each other and whatnot. And it's like that just kept me so connected to that universe that I just became like semi-obsessed with it in high school, to the point where I absorbed so much information about it saw like all the like I think there's like 15 movies tied to it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That aren't really canon technically, since they take place in sort of like universes you can't really tie into the series itself, but they're still so cool to watch.
Yeah, I've told you before, Tree of Might was my go-to. I loved Tree of Might. I watched that more times than I could probably count, to be honest.
There's this one movie, BoJack Unbound, that has BoJack in it, who I like that movie so much because it like starts off with a cool tournament, and then it's got BoJack and his team come and interfere with it. And what I remember most about it is like Trunks fighting another dude with a sword. And that was just such a cool thing to me at the time. I don't remember the name of like all BoJack's like henchmen. It was just a cool idea to me. And then like even BoJack had like an alternate form where he turned green or something. And it's like all those transformations is kind of synonymous with Dragon Ball Z. Like it's never anybody's final form. They always have something else that they're going to go to.
Oh yeah, you got to have an alternate form.
Yeah. Otherwise, what are you doing?
Okay, if you could make one wish on the Dragon Balls right now, like Shenron has presented himself right in front of you, what's your wish?
I'm on the spot, but I think, can I wish for Superman's powers?
Yeah, go for it.
That pretty much covers me for most things.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You could have just said Goku's power since we're talking about Dragon Ball Z, but you went Superman. So you cross-pollinated there a little bit.
I did, but Goku's the Superman of this series, I guess.
It's true. It's true. My wish would be that everyone listening right now will just take a moment to share their favorite episode or clip of the show with their friends on social media. By doing that simple little thing, you could really help us out and help grow this community. So whatever your favorite episode is, go share it from your favorite podcast app or directly from nerdsloth.com. Do it for Shenron. Don't leave the ancient dragon hanging. Don't leave him hanging. You collected all those balls for a reason. So.
I think if you leave him hanging, he'll literally pester you until you make a wish.
Make that wish, please.
Don't forget about me.
Don't forget, I'm still up here.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Yeah, the air's getting real thin up here, friends.
It's a little chilly, please.
Yeah.
Let me go back to my dimension. But hey, no, that's a good wish. I like it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we watched different versions of this.
We did,
but
so you watched the sub.
I watched the sub, and you watched the dub. But I don't think you watched the Ocean dub. I think you watched
I did Funimation.
Yeah, well, it was Funimation both times, but the actual Funimation in-house dub you're talking about.
Yes, I did the Funimation in-house dubs. Yes.
Okay, so yours probably wasn't too different from mine, honestly, because I was thinking like back in the day during the Ocean dubs when, you know, instead of Goku going like falling off of Snake Way and going to hell, he goes to HFIL, the Home for Infinite Losers.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, were they just like digitized out like part of the E and part of the L on the little demon shirts to make it HFIL. Oh,
I kind of want one of those shirts, to be honest.
The hell shirt or the Home for Infinite Loser shirts?
The Home for Infinite Losers.
That'd be pretty awesome. We should go. Okay, if we ever have like a live show, we need to both go out in those, and I think people would really appreciate that.
Yep, Home for Infinite Losers.
Yes,
there we go.
That's Nerd Sloth.
Yes.
So the first episode that we watched was The Arrival of Raditz, season 1, episode 1. And in Japanese, it's Mini Goku is an overprotected boy. I am Gohan is the name of it.
Okay. Wow.
After 5 years of peace, a new threat is coming for Goku and his friends. You know, this first episode happened differently than I thought it did. I was thinking it was more focused on Raditz and less on Gohan. I didn't realize how much Gohan was in this first episode.
Yeah, I remember it differently also, which makes me think that when we originally saw it, a lot of this must have been edited differently.
Yeah, maybe condensed. Maybe they just pulled from the next episode and like put it into this one, because
had to have been. I don't remember any of the stuff with the saber-toothed tiger at all.
Yeah, me neither.
I remember Raditz basically just showing up with Goku already like hanging out with his friends, and like him sensing, you know, Piccolo and them having that standoff, and then looking for Goku. And Yeah, so much of this episode was just like, this is brand new. I've not seen this. What is this?
Maybe they didn't.
So either our memories are horrible, which is true.
It's possible.
So we could just be very wrong, or originally when it was the what we'll just refer to as the ocean dubs that we saw way back in the day, it was edited up differently.
My best guess would be that it was a combination of episode 1 and 2 with the ocean dubs, where they did pull the part out with Piccolo like facing Raditz, but maybe they didn't want to show like a kid being in danger. Like Gohan is so much in this episode. So they're like, we could just drop all that and take it to where Goku's already visiting Master Roshi's island and his friends. And then we can just tie those in together. So I feel like that's what happened, but I can't say for sure.
I don't know. But yeah, Gohan's just kind of, he's a little kid. What is he? Maybe 5? He's just kind of wandering off on his own through the woods and stuff. He's already lost and crying. And God, I got to tell you, I hated Gohan. Kid Gohan. I hated him growing up.
Pre-Piccolo training, Gohan was really annoying.
Yeah, he's awful. He's such a bad, I don't want to say he's a bad character. He was an obnoxious character.
He had a lot of character growth, though, and I think that was the intention. And it was almost like Dragon Ball Z was, it seemed like it was going to be a show about Gohan, but then it like went right back to just being about Goku instead, just like Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah. This does kind of open that door for, it does feel like it will be, I mean, especially this first episode, that it will be a show about Gohan. But, I mean, as we know, it doesn't turn out that way. The one thing I do want to give it credit for, though, is it does a really good job of showing how gentle a soul Gohan is, which is something that maintains throughout the series no matter what. Like, no matter how much he trains, Gohan is still a lot more gentle than most of the other characters when you get down to it. And you can see as a child, it's interesting how like obviously pampered he is, which has made him very helpless, despite being the son of Goku and Chi-Chi, who are both, renowned like fighters in this world, having come from Dragon Ball.
Yeah. And what's interesting is like Gohan's the first half Saiyan. And it shows in this episode, and it's something that also carries throughout the series, how a lot of his powers or his untapped potential is driven by emotion. And it's when he hits those like heightened emotional states that his like true power like unlocks, even like unintentionally. And that kind of happens when the Sabretooth steals his hat and he goes after it like, that my dad gave me that. And, he's screaming at it. Yes. And then the Sabretooth's like, he's just scared and running away from him. And,
that Sabretooth was cracking me up, though. I love how, like, later on when we see that Sabretooth, he's just, like, prancing through that forest so proud of that hat he stole. Like, he's wearing it on his head, just like a normal human, just prancing through the brush.
Yeah, like, at first you think he's going after Gohan to try to eat him, but it seems like he just wanted that hat.
He just wants the hat.
That's all.
Which did have a Dragon Ball on it.
Well, true. So, I'm sure he had no idea. Or maybe he did. Yeah. Maybe he was just trying to make a wish. Who knows?
See? Yeah, don't count that Sabretooth out. He knows what's up.
But Goku, I like when Goku confronted him and he's like, hey, that's my son's hat. Like, what are you doing with that hat? And Sabretooth freaks out.
Yeah, the Sabretooth, like, I mean, he just has that look in his eyes of like, oh crap, I got caught. Yeah. He like runs away like a dude that gets caught stealing packages off your doorstep. He just tries to make a break for it.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
This is where we also, and it happens again periodically throughout the series. I think probably less so as the series progresses, but we see Goku on Flying Nimbus, which is something that he used a lot in Dragon Ball since he couldn't really fly yet. But now he uses it, I don't know, sometimes. Like he used it in this episode a little bit, but I think he could already fly at this point.
Yeah, I thought so too, but maybe not, because we didn't see him fly without it. So maybe he can't use it to fly, or maybe he can't fly yet.
Maybe not. But we also see Gohan like, we don't see it. I like how they do this where he's falling down a waterfall and Goku's going after him. And then suddenly he appears like on this like tree branch, like way above the waterfall. And Goku kind of like tells him, he's like, hey, like, how'd you get up here? And Gohan doesn't know, but that's what I was talking about earlier, where he's like emotionally driven. It's like when he reaches those heightened states, like I guess he either like leapt up there or flew up there. Not really sure. They didn't show it, but they give the hint that he has powers that we're not really sure of yet.
I would say the majority of this episode feels very... a lot of it feels very unnecessary, like it's not driving a plot. Even though there's a lot of episodes like Dragon Ball Z, which do feel that way, but starting out with a very first episode that feels like we're just kind of peeking in at a life, like it almost feels like a slice of life in this world rather than a driving story at this point. Towards the end of it is when it really starts actually setting everything up. When Raditz confronts Piccolo hits him with everything he's got, and Raditz doesn't even flinch. And Raditz is just like, he picks up Goku's power level on his little visor and just flies off and doesn't even give Piccolo the time of day after that. Like, Piccolo's just like a gnat. Like, it doesn't even matter. He can brush him off and just go. And then his inner monologue just kind of sets up pretty much the entire series in this first episode, which is great. That he keeps talking about this person, Kakarot, and we don't really know. I took this for granted because we know who Kakarot is, but the whole time he's talking about looking for Kakarot, and I kept forgetting that someone brand new will not know Kakarot and Goku are one and the same. So it's in this guy, when he's doing his inner monologue, we see like baby Goku being placed in the little capsule when he's thinking about Kakarot, and it's like, oh, so Kakarot is Goku. And we get the reveal that they're a race called Saiyans, and that he was sent here on a mission as a baby and has obviously failed that mission, and Raditz is here to correct that mistake. So it's just like, dang, okay, so this dude is super powerful. Goku is not necessarily Goku, and he was supposed to do something like take over Earth and didn't do it. So that basically sets up the entire series right there.
And that's like a really cool thing about this, where it was sort of a Akira Toriyama retcon of Dragon Ball series in general, because this show was never really intended to be a thing. It was like after, and I'm trying to remember back because I read about this, but at the time, the Dragon Ball anime series itself was sort of like slipping as far as ratings were going. So they were kind of trying to decide how to refresh it. And like, okay, what if we like continue it, like, but with Goku growing up and whatnot? And so that's when they came out with okay, like let's set the stage for it. So I think a lot of this came like way after the fact. I don't think it was the original intention, because if you go back to Dragon Ball itself, like none of this is ever mentioned because it didn't even exist at the time. So they do a really good job of transitioning into it, where it's like, okay, yes, Saiyans are a thing. Goku was sent here to take over the planet, but he hit his head when he was on his way down. So he's forgotten his original intent and lost the, like, I guess the ferocity of the Saiyan race and like all these different things. And it's like, okay, like that setup actually kind of works. Like you retconned it, but you didn't really change so much that it like you can still watch them in tangent with one another, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and still have it make sense.
I do want to mention real quick that, so for those of you that if you really are into Dragon Ball Z and all of that stuff, and you want another show that isn't Dragon Ball but has that similar feel, Invincible is a good show for you. I'm just gonna throw that out there, and it will keep getting there. It's got a lot of similarities to Dragon Ball Z. So
Invincible is a very cool show, but it is also very violent. So go into it expecting that.
Well, it's like, you know, if this had never been edited for American audiences, I mean, Invincible would basically be that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So like, I'm just saying, like, if you're too young for that, just be wary that
Invincible is for mature audiences.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, one more thing I'll say about Raditz, like at the time, even though he's such a low tier villain, at the time of his appearance, he was so strong in comparison to Goku, in comparison to Piccolo, everyone, that like he was a power just unknown. or like a power that like they had never seen before, and he seemed like such a fierce opponent. When you look back at it, it's like, oh, he was like super low tier, almost nothing. But
Right.
compared to the power levels that he was up against, like he was basically almost Super Saiyan level compared to where they are now.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a good first episode. It really, like you said, it launched a lot of things. It set up that universe pretty well, introduced us to Gohan as a new character. Even though he's an annoying character, it's like, okay, well, there's something there that we're not yet seeing.
For sure.
So the next episode we watched for today's show was another Super Saiyan, season 6, episode 3, which is episode 120 if you're just looking at it numerically. This was chosen by me. And the reason I chose it was because it wasn't like the technical first appearance of Trunks, but it was the first episode we really get to see him for longer than like a 2-minute period. Because in the previous episode is his official first appearance, but he shows up at the very end, cuts some people apart, and then it's just like standing there. So this is one I really wanted to highlight because this is where you get to see him in all his glory, even though you don't really know much about him at this point either. It's one of those things that like we take for granted because we know who he is now. Of course, when you see him, you're going to know him immediately. But at the time, like when audiences are being introduced to him, it's like, who is this mysterious dude? Like this mysterious youth.
Yes, this mysterious teenager. Mm-hmm.
In Japan, this was called Frieza halved by a single stroke. Another Super Saiyan. Those Japanese titles are very specific.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, they usually are.
Yeah.
That kind of gives it away, too. Dang.
Yeah, it really doesn't like hold back.
I do remember seeing this episode for the first time and how taken aback I was that Frieza returned. Like, oh my God. Like, it took so long to beat Frieza the first time. Like you said, that was like 4 hours of content.
Yeah.
Was just fighting Frieza. Goku destroyed a whole planet taking this guy out. And this time he brought like his dad with him. Dang.
Yeah. It's like Frieza's back. And he's like Mecha Frieza now, and he's more
Mecha
powerful,
Frieza, yeah.
supposedly. And he has his dad with him, and Goku's not even there. And like the way that they set up was so cool, where it's like Frieza is just like, I'm just here to fight Goku and to take out Goku, but I want him to come back to a horrific like state of things where let's just kill every Earthling in the 3 hours until he gets here. Like that's his plan. And so what actually sets it up in the previous episode at the end of it is like he starts to send his henchmen out. He's like, okay, go kill Earthlings one by one. And then that's when Trunks first comes in and like you just hear like the slashing noise and like that like glimmering sound. I don't even know how to describe it, where that's the sword sound that you hear when Trunks like is like Bing. Slashing people apart. You just see like the little slash imagery on the screen, and then you just see body parts falling of his henchmen. And you're like, oh my God, who's strong enough to cut up Frieza's henchmen? And that's when this little purple-haired kid with a jacket on, a capsule core jacket. So you know in some way, like he has something to do with like Bulma or whatever. And then you see he's got a sword. So it's like, this is a cool character. You just don't know anything about him at this point.
Well, he's got to be cool. He's rocking that sweet bowl cut.
Yeah.
That purple bowl cut.
For 90s kids, that was very cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was. That I had one when I was the 90s.
Same.
So it had to be. Yeah, Scooby Gang got alerted out there to that big old power level. Yamcha's like,
oh my God,
yo, let's give up. let's not get involved.
Yeah, because watching like the way that all the other Z Warriors were reacting to it, they're just like, oh my God, Frieza's back. None of us are anywhere near powerful enough to stop Frieza. Like, even though like we've seen it
Vegeta's
before.
Freaked out.
Yeah, Vegeta knows like even all their powers combined can't take on Frieza. So they're just like, well, here's where we die. Vegeta even tells them, he's like, hey, by the way, like I don't want to mince words. Like this is where Earth dies, or this is where Earth ends, or something like that. And so like they're just so grim about it. And yeah, Trunks literally comes in and saves the day. Like, well, this whole episode is like him kind of talking about it, just kind of explaining
Frieza.
Yeah, taunting Frieza in a way, and Frieza's just not even buying it. Like he can't imagine anyone being stronger than Goku was at that time, and he considers himself stronger than Goku at this point. And so he's like not even taking it seriously. And then he sends his henchmen after Trunks, and again he just takes him out quickly. And he's like, he's still not even taking it like really seriously. He thinks he still got it. And even though Trunks is like threatening to turn into the next Super Saiyan on him. And then when he actually does, that's when we get that cool reveal of like, oh my God, it is another Super Saiyan. Because at this point, we had still only seen it happen to Goku at that one point in the Frieza fight.
Right. And it took Goku so much to reach it. And then this dude is just like, and then just turns Super Saiyan so easily. It's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Jeez. One thing that I wanted to mention is King Cold, Frieza's father that's with him. That dude's whole demeanor is my mood on a daily basis when I'm at work. I love it. I love like when Frieza's just like, I'm here to fight Goku. And he's like, what's a Goku?
Yeah.
He's like, I know you're bored, but please keep up.
Yeah.
And he's always saying those little like sassy one-liners, and like he's just so bored with everything. Like, let's just hurry this up. I don't have all day.
When he was back on the ship in the last episode, like he was just like drinking wine and stuff while Frieza was regenerating. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. King Cold is my hero right now.
King Cold is mood.
He is. I love that dude.
You know, it comes down to Frieza, of course, like getting ready to like face Trunks himself. And so he like fires he starts to like shoot stuff at him, and Trunks like bats it away and doesn't think anything of it. And then I think Trunks like shoots like a small like blast at them, and that like sends them jumping up in the air. And that's when we get to see like the scene that everybody's probably like seen at some point, where it's like Frieza up in there, Trunks jumps up with his sword raised, and then you just see like that slash right down Frieza's center. And I love the perspective on this, where they go into Frieza's point of view, and it just shows like the screen splitting in half and kind of like sliding up and down. And that's so cool. And then watching Frieza like slowly split apart. And that's at the end of this episode, which transitions into the next episode, where he literally cuts him into pieces and then blasts it to make sure he's charred.
Yeah, there's nothing left of Frieza at that, but there's no bringing him back.
No,
from that point. But yeah, so like it's crazy to think about this villain that took so many episodes to take out. This dude did it and like didn't even break a sweat.
Not at all.
So it's pretty crazy.
What was cool also was that he's able to like downplay his, and this is what all like Z fighters can do, is like kind of underpower themselves so that they only use their energy when they're actually fighting. So he was only showing as like a power level of 5 or something. So they didn't take him seriously.
Which is what a normal human would look like. That like you and I would be like a 5.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, and
you might be a 6.
Maybe
probably
5.5. And so
I'm gonna go with 3.
If they were like, and since like Frieza and them are all using their scouters to get like exact calculations, like they're just reading it as a 5. So they're obviously not taking him seriously until he literally like slices him in half.
Late.
And King Cold, I mean, this goes in the next episode a little bit, but King Cold tries to bargain with them and stuff, and he eventually kills him too. So it's like Trunks shows up out of nowhere, unnamed guy, and just like does all this stuff, beats Frieza in like what seemed like it was going to be some like long drawn out battle, since Frieza returned, only lasted like 2 episodes, and then he's dead. It's like, oh my, who is this guy? So you're impressed from the start.
And then that fight is just over right away.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And Trunks just like went on to be, at least at the time, one of my favorite characters. Still to this day, one of my favorite characters.
Trunks is, I think, continues to be probably one of the most well-liked characters of the entire series.
I think it's just how 90s
probably
cool he was.
Probably one of the most popular. I mean, he's a top 3 easily. Like top 3 being like Goku, Vegeta, Trunks. I assume he's a top 3.
I would think so. And poor Piccolo, like he deserves more credit, but I don't think he's in the top 3 as far as cool
I don't
goes.
think he's a top 3. Yeah.
Maybe top 5.
Top 5 easily, yes.
So that brings us to the last episode we watched for today's show, which was Final Atonement, Season 8, Episode 18, or Episode 237. This was the highest rated. After fighting with Majin Buu, Vegeta realizes he isn't fighting for just himself, but for the entire planet, and commits the ultimate sacrifice. In Japan, this was called "For Those Whom He Loves, Vegeta Perishes."
Man, they really just give it away.
Yeah.
Like if they really want to translate it for English audiences, they should just call it Vegeta dies in this one.
Yeah, basically.
This is a great episode, though. I love this episode a lot for multiple reasons. You got Majin Buu, who's been beating the crap out of Vegeta. You got Little Trunks, Little Goten, Super Saiyans running around, which is great. You've got Babidi, which I have a love and hate relationship with. Like, he's just such a little scoundrel, but he's so funny, especially his laugh. I love his laugh so much.
Did you like know the connection with Babidi, like for the naming convention?
Oh, yeah, it's Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
Since Bibbidi is his father. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. And then we get we get like a cool dialogue with Piccolo and Babidi, which is basically when Piccolo is trying to take Babidi out, you know, maybe thinking that, you know, like if we don't have much of a chance if we can't take out the guy that's controlling Boo. But then Babidi's like, you know, if you kill me, like, I'm just saying, you take me down, then Boo can do whatever he wants. Like, yeah, I have him killing you guys and stuff, but, you know, he'll kill everyone and eat everything if I'm not here controlling him. But Piccolo cuts him in half anyway. He's just like, whatever.
In the Japanese, in the subtitled version, it was saying like, well, if you kill me, like nobody can reseal Majin Buu. So basically, he'll just run free forever. Like you can't seal him back up if I'm dead, which is a convincing argument. But Piccolo's like, yeah, we're all going to die anyway. So
yeah, Piccolo's over it. Yeah. He's just like, you know what? We've been here all day. I'm tired. I want to go home.
So he literally chops him in half. Yeah.
Karate chops him in half. Doesn't even need a sword. He just slaps him. And the guy falls into 3 pieces with a slap.
And
like, smack.
On the way down, he's just like, what happened? Why?
Oh, that sucks. It's rude.
Oh, man.
But, man, we do get like some great character development with Vegeta here for sure. And man, it's hard not to feel touched by this episode because Vegeta historically has been so
cold.
Yeah, so cold towards everybody. I mean, he shows respect to some of the other characters, but only if they like truly earn it, usually by being great warriors and things like that. And yes, he did marry and have a child with Bulma, but we never see him exactly treat her very nicely or anything. Definitely never treats his kid very nicely. But here, when he's like barely getting up again and Trunks and Goten are just like, you know, get up, we're going to help you take Boo down. You know, he has that moment where he's just like, you know, I haven't hugged you since you were a baby. So he like pulls Trunks in and hugs him. Trunks is like, what's going on? What is this? It was kind of then where it's like me and you as the audience are just like, oh, dang, this ain't going to be good. Yeah. We know what's going to happen now. Like, if he's doing this, you know it's not going to be good. Like, this is his version of saying everything he's always wanted to say and never will be able to say from this point in this one gesture.
Well, and I don't know if it said it or how it translated in English, but did they have a point of him talking to Piccolo about where he would go when he died?
Yes. Man, that was heavy too.
Yeah. Like he's asking basically if he'll be able to join Kakarot when he dies. And Piccolo's like, I mean, no. it wouldn't help me to lie to you. So I'm going to give it to you straight. Like you've killed too many sinless people. So when you die, your body will become nothing and your spirit will be carried to a different world than Goku. Your spirit will be cleansed, your memory will be lost, and you'll be changed into a new life form. And Vegeta just has to accept it.
Yeah, that went farther than what we had. Ours, it was more like you've lived only for yourself as opposed to Kakarot or Goku who's lived for others. So he was just like, no, where Goku goes to a place of rewards and happiness, you'll be facing the opposite, essentially. And Vegeta just kind of accepts it. It's just like, well, so be it.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it like ends with this one too. He's just like, is that so? too bad. And so he just starts to taunt Boo to get his attention after he knocks Trunks and Goten out so that Piccolo can carry them away since he doesn't want them to be caught in this blast. And man, what a blast it was. Vegeta at this point, like, charges up all his ki, and then he basically gives his farewell speech to Bulma, Trunks, and even Kakarot, and then just, like, explodes to make sure he tells Boo, he's like, I'm doing this so I can make sure you can't reform, and I'll have you blown into tiny bits. So his idea is to just, like, encompass such a large area with this explosion that Boo can't keep regenerating as he has been.
And what sucks is we know it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part too, is because like this is Vegeta's like turning point as a character, and it almost means
and it was for nothing.
Yeah, I mean it is still a great turning point for him, but it doesn't change what's happening at all as far as
it's just
goes.
Like, you know, it just makes the sucker punch of his loss in the show like that more impactful, you know? That's what it does.
Well, true. Yeah. It's like, oh, Vegeta, you did that for nothing, bud.
Yep. Like, dang, man. So sorry about it.
But we should mention, for anyone who's not aware, that coming off of this is after Vegeta had become Majin Vegeta, which is allowing himself to be controlled, quote unquote, by Babidi, and had that M like inscribed on his head so that he could become more powerful enough to beat Kakarot, to beat Goku. And so this is obviously like the most selfish Vegeta had been up to this point after turning good post Namek and everything. And so it was like, wow, this was like reaching that peak of selfishness only to like make that complete comeback. So it was a great juxtaposition from his ultimate evil form to this sacrifice.
Turned it around.
All for nothing, but hey, at least he had a big character change.
But he did it. Yeah, so, but it was a good episode to finish up with for this show.
Oh yeah, well, definitely a great highest rated episode. Like I understand that completely. So what are some of your likes and dislikes for this? Where do you want to start?
Let's start with what we like about it.
Okay.
The one thing I want to point out for sure is like I love the art style so much, not just the character designs, which are fantastic. And also one of the reasons I love things like Chrono Trigger so much is, you know, because of the art style of everything, but also like the landscapes are super beautiful in those early episodes. Like that first episode we watched, it felt so just like painted and just gorgeous. And that's something I really forget about looking at some of those earlier episodes. I'm like, wow, they're like, I never really gave that much attention to some of it because I was so fixated on the action and stuff. But watching it in a new lens, I was like, holy crap, like there's so much more to this than I remember.
Yeah, especially like when it came out. So this was 89. That's not when we first saw it, but this was when it had first come out. And the animation was really top notch for the time.
Yeah, it was super, super beautiful. The colors were really vivid. It looked great. And the other thing that I just want to mention, I mean, there's a billion things I could talk about as far as what I like, but trying to condense things, just the fact that there's so many great and interesting characters introduced throughout the entire series that you grow to love. Especially, they nail the anti-hero archetype in this show, starting with Piccolo and then Vegeta and then, you know, like androids 16, 17, 18, eventually even Boo. Just the handling of these characters is definitely the strongest suit of the show, and they do it in a way that most cartoons and anime don't handle characters nearly as well as this show does.
Yeah, and to chain off that, like for me also, the characters, yes, and the lore behind it. Like I've always been intrigued by the Dragon Ball Z universe, especially when I was a wee shonen myself, and which is like my teenage years. The very specific species traits, the numbered transformations, the team armors, the fusions, the named special attacks, like all of that was like, there was just something about how very specific and how organized that chaos was that it really appealed to my OCD at the time, I guess. Otherwise, like Goku being a perpetual child is something that You can look at it in both a good and bad way because he's not a great father, but in that same sense, like how they usually try to throw a kid character into the mix to appeal to a younger audience. In this show, like they didn't really have to. I mean, they kind of did with Gohan because we had him, we had Goten, we had Kid Trunks, etc. But honestly, like even though Goku was physically older, he never really aged out of like eating whatever he wanted or doing stuff just for fun. He was just a big kid, and that's sort of the opposite of Chi-Chi, who was like the more mature, like focused on like the daily chores and whatnot. It was sort of symbolic of only being as old as you feel or not all grown-ups being boring or something like that. Like maybe I appreciate it so much more now because of how I live my own life as a big kid and how most adult things are just such a drag to me, for better or for worse. And honestly, like I'd rather go out and train in real weighted clothing for fun than to worry about responsibilities. So I can definitely relate to Goku.
You do that.
I do. Yeah.
I've seen you do this.
You're right.
You do train in weighted clothing. There's a Joseph tidbit, if you didn't know. He actually does run around in like a weighted vest and everything. He's the closest you're going to get to a Saiyan at this
Inspired by Dragon Ball Z. So there you go.
Yeah, and he does have a tail.
Oh, yeah. Also that.
As far as the dislikes, there's just, as much as I do love the show, there are two things that do bug me about Dragon Ball Z. For one, there is a ton of downtime, especially in like the Frieza saga. There's just so many episodes where it feels like the story just does not progress much at all. Instead, it's just a buildup of the drama based on the characters trying to psych each other out with their power levels and things like that. And that gets so old to me after a while. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. I get that you two really want to fight each other. I get that you're trying to psych each other out. And one of you is just like, I'm powerful. And the other one's like, haha, but you don't know that I'm also powerful. Like, cool, fight. Just get it over with. Just do it, man. I'm tired of waiting on it. Let's just go. So yeah, that really gets to me sometimes. The other thing that does bother me, and this is I think I don't know, like it didn't bother me at first when I first got into this show, but it's like as I've gotten older, it's bugged me a little bit. But now I think that I'm starting to come full circle again, and it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. But it's the formula of the show, which is the strongest bad guy in the universe appears. Heroes train to become stronger, defeat them. The new strongest bad guy in the universe appears. The heroes train, defeat them. Strongest bad guy in the universe appears. Heroes train, defeat. It just repeat. At some point, that gets ridiculous, you know? So, like, back in the day, at some point, like, I kind of had to throw the parts of my brain that crave some sort of, like, grounding out the window and just enjoy the spectacle for what it is. If you can do that, it's a hell of a ride. But if you're someone that really likes to analyze everything and you want everything to feel somewhat grounded, that's going to drive you nuts. And it has definitely done it to me a few times. However, I do appreciate, now that I've gotten older and looking back on it, the influence that this has had in other properties. Especially things like, I mentioned Invincible earlier. This is definitely an influence. Like, there is absolute influence on Invincible for sure. I'm almost done reading all of the comics, and I can assure you there's some hardcore influence there. We definitely wouldn't have things like One Punch Man if we didn't have stuff like this. So, I mean, for as frustrating as some of these nitpicks can be, we owe so much of what we have back to this show. So I can't be that mad about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on the cliche of a stronger enemy coming in, getting beaten, training up for the next one, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it just goes on. That's the exact formula. It's not like other shows or other animes where it's like, oh, they have to find a new way to defeat the next villain. It's like, no, they have the same way. It's just getting stronger. Just get stronger than him and beat him. That's it.
Yeah.
Every time.
Exactly.
So for me, like, some of, if not most of the hero characters, like, get left in the dust by Goku. And that's really disappointing to me sometimes because there are so many cool characters here. and there's so much potential with all of them, but Goku just overshadows them every step of the way. And it's like, I get that Goku's like the main character here, but give somebody else a chance to shine instead of Goku having to save the day every single time. He is, as a comparison, the Superman of the show, but it's not like there's no Batman, there's no like other equally powered superheroes or anything in different ways. It's just like everybody's just trying to be strong, but nobody can ever be as strong as Goku, because anytime they get close to it, he just goes to the next level of Super Saiyan and he's 10 times stronger. So it's like, I get that he's the main character, yes, and he's the main character of the franchise. And I mean, Vegeta like sort of keeps up as another Saiyan, but as we saw in that last episode, even him sacrificing himself amounted to practically nothing in that Buu fight. The only time he really gets to shine in Dragon Ball Z is when he fuses with Goku. And then it's like, okay, now you're Vegito, or now you're Gogeta. But up until then, you still need Goku to shine. And that's unfortunate. And like, same with poor like Chaozu, like he blew himself up trying to stop Nappa, but it was for nothing. He didn't do anything to Nappa. And he just killed himself for nothing. Man, I always wanted to see like Chaozu just like come into some sort of like untapped power or something, or just anybody, like maybe Tien, maybe Yamcha. Tien, like, Yamcha had the wolf thing fist, though. But yeah, and Tien's so cool and so focused and like he is such a zen character, but then he also just becomes so overpowered or so underpowered compared to Goku that it's like he's just a side character. Like everybody's just pushed to side character, and it's the Goku show. And that I think is one of my biggest complaints about it, if not my only like big complaint.
Yeah, I do agree with that 100%. And that's something that if I would have thought of that, I would have mentioned that to you. Because there are so many good characters that they do get shoved aside, and there are times that we hardly ever see them again. And yeah, Chaozu, Tien, and Yamcha specifically are three that were so prominent in Dragon Ball and the first like season or so of Dragon Ball Z, and then at some point we barely ever see them again, and that really sucks.
They get like beat up by Cybermen, not even like Nappa and Vegeta, like Cybermen are able to take them out. So it's like, man, these guys are just weak and they're not letting them get stronger. Krillin like keeps up some, but he can only go so far because he's human. He doesn't have like a superhuman ability. The only time he really gets to like unlock anything else is when he like gets the unlocked potential from like the Namek, like the guru. I can't remember what his name is exactly, but when they're on Namek, like the guru is about to die and like unlocks the potential of him and Gohan. And then like my last complaint really is, I won't turn on this for too long because I know most manga based anime are guilty of it, but man, like those filler episodes, they can really drag it down.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man.
Yeah, like there's the one where Chi-Chi made Goku get a driver's license, and he and Piccolo spent a whole episode doing that. It's not in the manga at all, of course. It's just like they had to catch up. And so it's like, all right, well, we're going to go get a driver's license, and it's going to be goofy, and it doesn't make any sense because Goku can already fly. And so, and Piccolo's just there for laughs, I guess. So yeah, I understand why it needs to happen sometimes to keep up with, or for the manga to keep up with the anime production, but still like those just really drag it down sometimes. So I do appreciate though that Dragon Ball Kai, which is like the kind of edited version of Dragon Ball Z that they released, that condenses and trims out most of that fat. So that it really just gives you like the purest form of Dragon Ball Z you're going to see in comparison to the manga.
Yeah, I need to watch that sometime and just give Dragon Ball Kai a whirl and see how that feels.
Yeah, like I think it'll cut out a lot of the excess stuff that might slow down the series.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our inner kids to train under Master Roshi, only to be overshadowed by pesky vegetable boys at every turn, then see what they thought of Dragon Ball Z.
This show is so fun because there's so many cool characters and like so much fighting, like all the time. And I know if I want to get stronger, I just need to eat a lot of food and practice my grunting and yelling, because that's what they do whenever they want to get their powers up. Just like this. I pooped a little.
This show makes me either want to work out really hard with weighted clothing and earn my strength, or get really mad and dye my hair blonde for an automatic 50 times power gain. Either way, I love DBZ and can't wait to see how amazing the next series, Dragon Ball GT, is.
Please, just do yourself a favor and don't watch it.
You were so naive back then.
Poor innocent soul.
Yeah, if only you had known. If only someone had warned you.
I'm warning me now. Don't do it.
Oh, man. You know, a character we completely missed that they really should have concentrated more on was Yajirobe. Where's Yajirobe?
Yajirobe was a hero in a way when he cut off Vegeta's tail.
Yeah.
When he had turned to Uzaru form and was really like wrecking face everywhere.
Yajirobe's who I would aspire to be in that universe. I'm just going to hang out with Master Korin and do nothing else.
Yajirobe, who's intentionally lazy just wants to eat and have fun.
Exactly. I mean, all in all, is the show's great. I mean, we can't hide from that fact. Is it perfect? No. But it's still great, and it set the mold for so many action anime to come after it. And it served as a gateway for a huge amount of people to become interested in anime, manga, and I mean, for people like me, various other aspects of Japanese culture as well. So otherwise, if I hadn't gotten a Dragon Ball Z, that stuff wouldn't have happened for me. So even for the flaws that I think it does have, I still have to give it 5 bowls of Senzu bean cereal out of 5.
Yeah, I'm going to mirror you almost exactly, because personally speaking, it's what made me more curious about seeking out anime in the first place. Like, it was a whole new world unleashed to me through the lens of this crazy like anime of power level versus power level and just constant fighting. But there was just so much to it. The core of it just left such an impression on me that it really made me want to seek out more of it and anything like it. So overall, I'd give Dragon Ball Z 5 big bowls of Kamehameha crisp cereal out of 5. And even though the show itself definitely has its dips from time to time, the overall cultural impact the franchise has had over the years more than makes up for any of those flaws.
Well, we did it, man. We got through a Dragon Ball Z episode. We knew this was going to be a longer episode. It was, but it's worth it. We knew that we would have a lot to say about it, and we could keep talking about it. We've talked before about how we could do a DBZ only podcast. But
exactly.
We don't have the time or energy to pull that off.
We just scratched the surface. Like, honestly, if you've never seen DBZ, like, please watch the Kai version of it. Watch Dragon Ball Kai, because you'll get the best of DBZ. But I mean, it's just such an interesting world, even though it seems like pretty simple as far on the surface. Like, there's so much to it that I think you'll really come to appreciate. And there's like subtle humor to it, sometimes not so subtle humor to it, that is also fun and helps to kind of add some levity to those really intense situations that come about. Sorry if we didn't cover like every single part of it. I wish we could, but we can only do so much in a single episode.
And again, whoever it was that suggested this, thank you very much. I'm sorry that we didn't get your info out there. I wish that we would have still had that, but we goofed it and we're very sorry. And Joseph will atone for his sins. I promise.
I'll add extra weight to my weighted vest when I run next time.
74 more pounds. Exactly, 74.
That's the weight of my sins.
Yes. We've got a couple 5-star reviews real quick. I'm going to read from Apple Podcasts. This first one is from, oh, good Lord. Okay. I think someone just typed in a bunch of letters. Anyway, they say, hi, I love your podcast. Please do Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, no. Papa Smurf waits. Oh, no.
Really?
Why is he still waiting? We just did DBZ. I thought that's what he was waiting on. What else is Papa Smurf waiting on?
Well, maybe he hadn't heard this episode yet. Well, he wouldn't have, because that review was left before this episode even aired.
But this is what concerns, and yeah, we will. Thank you so much for that. I'm not going to try to say that name again because you obviously just goofed with your keyboard there. But thank you for your review, for your comment. I'm glad you love the podcast. And yes, I am adding Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right now, which I'm interested in watching too. So that's cool. Our other 5-star reviews from Umbreon is my fave Pokemon.
Hey, nice.
Okay. They say, ooh, I wonder Okay, the ooh, do you think that that's like, is that supposed to be like a cutesy anime noise, or do you think that's the sound effect thing that they were yelling in
Howard Lovecraft.
Howard Lovecraft? Ooh! Do you think that's?
I feel like that's what it is.
What do you think they're going for?
I think that's what
Okay.
they're going for.
So Umbreon's My Fave Pokemon says, "Hi, I'm Luna. You were the first podcast I ever listened to. Oh, that's
Whoa.
awesome. And I loved you ever since I watched a single episode. And please do Ranma Half. I think it's on Hulu.
Oh,
Peace out."
Ranma 1/2. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she lists an episode for us. Ryoga, the Eternal Lost Boy. Oh, God. And then Joseph.
Uh-huh.
And then it ends with Papa Smurf waits.
I don't even know if I believe
Why?
this anymore. I don't.
What is going on? Why? Why does everyone keep saying Papa Smurf waits? I don't understand what's happening.
There's some kind of
Are these
conspiracy or Smurf-spiracy or something. I don't know what's happening.
You know what's really weird too is like, so in our Discord, which if you guys go to the Cartoon Boom subreddit, I believe there's a link to join our Discord there. So if you go to find our subreddit, look for the Discord link. If you can't find it, just post that you're looking for the Discord link. Christopher 1295, who helps moderate that, will get you the link for it. Our Discord people are usually the ones trolling us with weird stuff, but this isn't them. So this is like a whole new level of weird weird fan trolling that we're getting with this Papa Smurf thing. And it's really creeping me out.
I guess I appreciate the continuity of it. If they're listening to episodes and taking it from that, great. They're listening to episodes, but still, it's weird and I don't understand what it means.
What do we got to do to get Papa Smurf off?
If someone would just tell us what he's waiting for, we can resolve this right away.
Okay. Everyone, if you could let us know through social media or your next comments, whatever, please let us know what Papa Smurf's waiting for us to do. We need instructions from Papa Smurf on what needs to happen. Okay. So at NerdSloth HQ on Twitter or Instagram or over on Facebook, let us know what Papa Smurf's waiting on. We need some instruction here.
Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. And in 2 weeks, we'll be watching
Teen Titans Go! Suggested via email by Cole and Jazzfrass via Apple Podcast Review.
Cool. Okay. I've been wanting to watch this one.
This was voted to the bottom of the list, man.
Bottom.
Yeah.
Huh.
I guess people really don't like Teen Titans Go.
If it's anything like the movie, then it's going to be great.
Yeah, the movie was a lot of fun. So we're going to set out to prove you guys wrong. That's what we're going to do. So in 2 weeks, we're proving you wrong that this should have been, I don't know, halfway up the list, somewhere in the list. I don't know, but not at the bottom.
I feel like these are just people who are hardcore about the original series and refuse to separate it from this one.
Yeah, that's why I feel like we'll get the that Thundercats one at the bottom at some point too. Thundercats Roar.
Oh yeah, there was so much hate sent towards that one. I watched an episode or two of it and I enjoyed it. So I don't know.
So there you go.
People have their opinions.
That they do. That they do.
Well, once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
We'll see you in 2 Saturdays.
Next time on Saturday Morning Cartoon Boom.
It's too many syllables. I wish we'd come up with a different name.
It also makes my throat hurt.
Last time on Cartoon Boom. We're taking a Saturday morning out of it from now on.
Yeah, we're going Cartoon Boom.
Presented by NerdSloth.
A place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.